How to deal with seniors who you know are making the wrong decision. This is a question that one of my old NCOs, and I don't know that old NCOs is the right. She PCS'd. You're still mine, right? I'm still yours. So she said, "Hey, how do you deal with people who are making the wrong decisions that are senior to you?" And this is, I think, I'm going to play this out in a couple different ways, a couple scenarios, because I don't think one answer fits every meal that we could have here, right? So the first one is if they're making a choice that is obviously unethical, illegal, immoral, and the consequence is somebody's going to get hurt. I think that may sound like that's the easiest one to play through, but I think if we're honest with ourselves, it's easy to brief that you're going to do the right thing and stand up and get in somebody's face, but that's not what happens, right? But I think ultimately, if the consequence is somebody's going to get hurt, that's exactly what's called for. If the consequence is somebody's not going to get hurt, but somebody's making the wrong choice on what we deem as an ethical decision, maybe it's a moral decision. What do you do? Somebody's not going to get hurt physically, but we know that it doesn't sit right, right? What do you do? Notice I kept legal out of this particular consequence, right? If it's wrong legally, you have a moral obligation and a lawful obligation to either confront something directly, indirectly, or talk to your legal department. But if it's more of a moral decision, like how do we handle these friction points? And one of the ways that I have found that works for me is I will ask a question, right? I just ask a question. What do you think is could be as simple as, how do you think this is going to be perceived by this? Is this direction maybe a violation of privacy? I want to make sure that my commander is above and beyond reproach, right? So I want to make sure that when I'm asking these questions, sometimes I'm asking it's of my commander, maybe it's of a battalion command team, whatever the case is. For you, maybe it's a company command team. Ask them, are we getting ready to violate somebody's privacy? Maybe you're getting ready to do a barracks inspection, and somebody in your chain of command says, I want you to go and I want you to have your soldiers open up everything in their rooms. I don't care if it's behind a lock, whatever it is, open it up. And that's the wrong answer because it is the wrong answer, right? Unless you're conducting a search, if you're just doing a health and welfare inspection, if you're just inspecting property, right? You have no right to start forcing locks to become open. If a search is being conducted, that's all well and good. I would just, say, hey, maybe we should get the MPs involved in on this. And or bring the MPs involved on the first time, and then if they smell something, then you can have probable cause to have a lock unsecured, right? But you have to have probable cause to search. I mean, we have a constitution for this thing after all, right? I mean, come on, what are we doing? So, simple questions like that. Are we getting ready to violate HIPAA? And truth be told, I think that there's a lot of units out there considering violating HIPAA. And as a leader, that's one simple question we could ask. And then get your legal department, maybe you can put a buzz in their ear. Like, hey, are we getting ready to make the right decision? And have them give it to you in writing. It's hard to argue with stuff like that because most people are not going to vocalize something that they know is wrong. Like, nobody's going to say, hey, I know that legal said that it's going to not be lawful for us to do this, but we're going to go ahead and do it anyways. Like, nobody's going to do that. Not unless you want to get fired, right? Even if it's taking out the legal part, nobody's going to say, hey, I know that this is wrong, but we're going to do it anyways. So that's a way to deal with, dudes who are senior than you kind of making the wrong choice on more of a level, right? Now, I was in the last scenario I have for you, I was in a after-action review from a field exercise that, in my opinion, could have gone way gooder, right? It could have gone so much gooder. It wasn't bad, but it could have been gooder. And I'm listening to everybody speak, and they started doing the same thing we do at PT, which is, start to cast blame on everybody else and start to make excuses, right? You know what I'm talking about. And I knew I could have said things when it came to planning that could have gone better. I could have said things when it came to the execution that could have gone better. But I didn't for a couple reasons. One, I was a little hot. And I knew that if I had said anything, I was probably going to lose my tact, right? At that particular moment in time. I found a way to say something later. And even before. But I was probably going to lose my tact. And I don't represent myself. And if you're a leader, this is critically important for you to understand. You are not just speaking for yourself. You are speaking for your entire organization, whether it's a team, squad, section, platoon, company, battalion, whatever it is. You're speaking for everybody. You are a representation of your whole organization. And when you lose your cool, it's not just you that gets looked at differently now. It's your whole team. It's your whole crew. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't say anything. Two, I knew that nothing was going to change. Like, no matter what I said, even if I said, hey, you're all a bunch of fools, we should have done it this way, or quit making excuses about that and do it this way next time, nothing is going to be challenged to such a degree that it's going to actually have an impact. And if there's no result, am I just talking to hear myself speak? Isn't that one of the things that we hate about leaders in the first place? Is people who talk only to hear them speak. Like, we start rolling our eyes in the back of our heads. Oh my God, here we go again, right? So don't be that same person. Don't be that same person. We can do better than that. It's actually a subject of another conversation we need to have. Owning up to our own hypocrisy, right? Hey, man, I hope that maybe in your time and space where you're at right now, that this conversation, this dialogue had some value to you. If you think it's going to have some value to somebody else, consider sharing it out with a battle buddy, so we can start to grow the community and continue to foster a place where we can continue to master our craft and develop our tactical virtue. Man, I appreciate all you guys. You stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.